Number 10. Japan, where tomorrow meets yesterday. Seen from above, Japan looks like a narrow arc of islands stretching along the edge of East Asia, anchored by Hokkaido, Honshu, Shikoku, and Kyushu, with Okinawa and thousands of smaller islands extending far to the south. Yet most of the country's people are packed into dense urban corridors. Preliminary 2025 census figures put Japan's population at 123.05 million, while the Greater Tokyo area alone held nearly 37 million people, about 30% of the nation. That concentration creates one of Japan's most striking contrasts. In Tokyo, bullet trains, glowing skyscrapers, automated stores, and vast rail networks can make the country feel decades ahead. Travel a few hours away, however, and the scene can change completely. Aging villages, wooden houses, rice fields, centuries-old temples, and quiet shrines hidden in the mountains. This is a nation racing toward the future, while trying not to lose the past. But Japan is also facing a demographic transformation. By January 2026, about 36.2 million residents were 65 or older, roughly 29% of the population. The latest fully published annual data recorded just 686,061 births in 2024, with a fertility rate of 1.15. Meanwhile, 90.6% of Japan's municipalities lost population between 2020 and 2025. And yet Japan's global influence remains enormous. The World Bank estimated its 2025 economy at about $4.44 trillion. Its cars, advanced manufacturing, robotics, and electronics helped define modern industry, while anime, manga, video games, cuisine, and fashion turned Japanese culture into a worldwide force. Japan's greatest power may be this contradiction, an aging archipelago whose ideas still feel relentlessly young. Number 9. The women changing modern Japan. For centuries, the image of Japanese women presented to the outside world was often shaped by tradition. Elegant kimono, elaborate hairstyles, geisha culture, and an ideal of quiet refinement. But step into Japan in 2026, and that picture is far more complicated. From the fashion districts of Tokyo to corporate offices and political institutions, Japanese women are redefining what independence and success can look like. Japan remains a global beauty and fashion powerhouse. Tokyo neighborhoods such as Harajuku and Shibuya have helped launch styles that traveled far beyond the country, while Japanese skincare, cosmetics, minimalist design, and street fashion continue to influence international trends. Traditional aesthetics have not disappeared. They now exist alongside an extraordinary range of modern identities and personal styles. The deeper transformation, however, is happening beyond fashion. Women now represent roughly half of Japan's workforce, and female labor force participation has risen significantly over recent decades. More women are pursuing higher education and long-term careers, while younger generations are increasingly questioning the expectation that marriage and motherhood must define their future. Yet major gaps remain. Women are still underrepresented in senior corporate leadership and national politics compared with many other advanced economies, while unequal responsibilities at home continue to shape career decisions. This tension is transforming Japan itself. As marriage happens later and birth rates remain historically low, traditional ideas about family, work, and gender are being reconsidered. The women of modern Japan are not simply changing how the country looks. They are helping decide what Japan will become next. Number 8. The hidden crisis behind Japan. Japan is famous for order, safety, efficiency, and cities filled with millions of people. But behind that carefully organized surface lies a quieter reality. In one of the world's most densely populated societies, some people are becoming increasingly disconnected from the world around them. One of the most discussed examples is hikikomori, a term commonly used for people experiencing prolonged social withdrawal, often remaining largely isolated for 6 months or longer. A major Japanese government survey released in 2023 estimated that roughly 1.46 million people between the ages of 15 and 64 were living in conditions associated with hikikomori. The causes are complex, ranging from difficulties at school and work to disrupted relationships and other personal circumstances. It is not a uniquely Japanese phenomenon, but Japan gave it a name the world now recognizes. Loneliness has also become a serious public concern. Japan established government-level measures to address loneliness and isolation, reflecting a growing recognition that social disconnection can affect people across generations. Then there is the pressure surrounding work. Japan became internationally associated with an intense corporate culture, even producing the term karoshi, referring to death linked to overwork. In response, the country has introduced reforms aimed at limiting excessive working hours and encouraging healthier working environments, though challenges remain. These issues revealed a side of Japan rarely captured by neon skylines or perfect train schedules. The same society admired for discipline and responsibility can place enormous expectations on individuals. Modern Japan is now confronting a difficult question. How can a society built around belonging ensure that those who become disconnected are not left behind? Number 7. Inside Japan's wildest night district. When darkness falls over Tokyo, one neighborhood seems to awaken brighter than the rest. Hidden among the skyscrapers of Shinjuku is Kabukicho, a maze of towering signs, glowing billboards, restaurants, karaoke rooms, bars, cinemas, and entertainment venues. Often described as one of Japan's most famous nightlife districts, it offers a side of Tokyo that feels completely different after sunset. Its name, however, comes from something that was never built. After World War II, plans were proposed for a kabuki theater in the area. The theater project disappeared, but the name Kabukicho remained. Over the following decades, the neighborhood developed into a major entertainment center. Today, its streets attract tourists alongside local visitors. The district includes everything from ordinary restaurants and arcades to Japan's distinctive host and hostess clubs, venues built around conversation, drinks, and personalized social entertainment. They represent a controversial but fascinating corner of Japan's nightlife economy, one that outsiders can easily misunderstand. Kabukicho has also undergone a visible transformation. The opening of the massive Tokyo Kabukicho Tower in 2023 brought new hotels, cinemas, music venues, and entertainment spaces into the district, reflecting efforts to broaden its appeal. But visitors should still be cautious. Official travel guidance has long warned against following street touts or entering establishments without clearly displayed prices, as unexpected charges can occur. Kabukicho is neither the fantasy portrayed in movies nor simply a place to fear. It is a neighborhood of contradictions, commercial, chaotic, theatrical, and constantly reinventing itself. And beneath all those neon lights lies one of Tokyo's most complicated nighttime worlds. Number 6. Japan's most shocking foods. Japanese cuisine has conquered the world with sushi, ramen, tempura, and wagyu. But travel beyond the familiar dishes, and Japan's food culture enters territory that can surprise even the most adventurous visitors. Consider shirako. Its name translates poetically as white children, but the reality is more unexpected. It refers to the milt of male fish, most famously cod, and is served seasonally in dishes ranging from hot pot to tempura. Then there is natto, fermented soybeans famous for their powerful aroma and sticky, stringy texture. For many Japanese people, it is an ordinary breakfast food. For some first-time visitors, one bite becomes an unforgettable challenge. Perhaps no Japanese delicacy carries a reputation quite like fugu, or pufferfish. Certain parts of the fish contain a dangerous toxin, which is why its preparation is strictly regulated, and trained professionals are associated with the dish. For travelers, the message is simple. Experience it only through legitimate establishments rather than attempting to prepare it yourself. But Japan's culinary surprises are not always intimidating. The country has also turned Kit Kat into something resembling a cultural souvenir. Over the years, consumers have encountered an extraordinary variety of regional and limited edition flavors, from matcha to sake-inspired creations, helping make the chocolate bar uniquely associated with Japanese gift culture. This is what makes eating in Japan so fascinating. Food here can be elegant or eccentric, ancient or commercial, incredibly simple or obsessively refined. A dish that seems strange to an outsider may carry generations of regional history. In Japan, the greatest culinary adventure often begins when you stop asking, "Is this strange?" and start asking a better question. Why do people here love it? Number 5. Japan's strangest places actually exist. Beyond Japan's famous temples and neon cities lies another world, one filled with animal islands, mysterious forests, remote communities, and entire neighborhoods dedicated to imaginary universes. On the small island of Aoshima in Ehime Prefecture, cats became so numerous that the island earned international fame as one of Japan's so-called cat islands. But behind the viral images is a more complicated story. Aoshima has only a tiny, aging human population, turning it into an unusual symbol of rural depopulation as much as an animal attraction. Farther north, Miyagi Prefecture is home to Fox Village, where visitors can observe numerous foxes in a managed facility. Its popularity has also sparked discussions about animal welfare, reminding travelers that unusual wildlife attractions should be approached responsibly. Then there is Aokigahara, a dense forest growing across ancient lava flows near Mount Fuji. Its twisted roots, volcanic terrain, caves, and unusually quiet atmosphere have inspired legends for generations. For responsible visitors, it is a place to appreciate geology and nature, while remaining on designated routes and respecting local guidance. But perhaps Japan's strangest land is entirely urban. Tokyo's Akihabara evolved from a post-war electronics marketplace into one of the world's most recognizable centers of anime, manga, gaming, collectibles, and otaku culture. Multi-story shops can be devoted to a single obsession, while arcades and themed businesses transform entertainment into an entire ecosystem. These places seem to have almost nothing in common, yet together they reveal something fascinating about Japan. Isolation, nature, technology, and imagination can create worlds found nowhere else. Sometimes, the Japan that feels most unreal is completely real. Number 4. Japan's strangest everyday habits. In Japan, some of the biggest cultural surprises are not hidden in temples or remote villages. They happen every day, on trains, inside restaurants, and even in public restrooms. Start with noodles. In many ramen and soba shops, slurping is completely normal and is often associated with enjoying noodles while eating them hot. But this is not a universal rule for every Japanese dish, and nobody is required to do it. For visitors accustomed to silent dining, however, the sound of an entire ramen shop can be unforgettable. Then there is bowing. A small nod may express casual acknowledgement, while deeper bows can communicate greater respect or formality. Most tourists are not expected to master every angle. Simply showing politeness is usually enough. Masks are another familiar sight. Long before the COVID-19 pandemic, many people in Japan already wore masks during cold and flu seasons when experiencing symptoms or because of seasonal allergies. What surprised much of the world in 2020 had already been part of everyday Japanese life for years. Public transportation reveals another unwritten code. Phone conversations are generally discouraged on trains. Passengers often line up at marked positions, and keeping noise down is considered courteous. In a megacity like Tokyo, millions of strangers manage to share limited space through countless small acts of cooperation. And then there are the toilets. Some Japanese restroom systems include an otohime, or sound princess, which plays artificial flushing sounds to provide privacy without repeatedly wasting water. Individually, these habits may seem unusual. Together, they reveal something deeper. In Japan, everyday behavior is often shaped by one powerful idea: how to live among millions of other people while causing as little inconvenience as possible. Number 3. The ideas that secretly shape Japan. To understand Japan, looking at its skyscrapers and technology is not enough. Some of the country's most fascinating influences are almost invisible. Quiet ideas expressed through everyday objects, relationships, and rituals. Consider omiyage. To outsiders, it may look like ordinary souvenir shopping, but in Japan, returning from a trip with carefully packaged regional gifts for co-workers, friends, or family can carry a deeper social meaning. Train stations and airports are filled with beautifully boxed sweets designed specifically for sharing. The gift says something simple: "While I was away, I remembered you." Then there is kintsugi, the traditional craft of repairing broken ceramics with lacquer, often highlighted with powdered precious metals. Instead of disguising every crack, the repair can make the object's history visible. Today, kintsugi is frequently used around the world as a metaphor for resilience, although its true significance is rooted in a specific Japanese craft tradition. Another concept that has traveled globally is ikigai, often translated as a reason for being. Western interpretations sometimes turn it into a formula for finding the perfect career. In Japanese life, however, the idea can be broader and more personal. Meaning may come from work, relationships, hobbies, responsibilities, or simply the small things that make everyday life worthwhile. And beneath Japanese aesthetics lies wabi-sabi, an appreciation often associated with imperfection, simplicity, and impermanence. Together, these ideas reveal a different side of Japan. Not everything valuable must be new. Not everything meaningful must be grand. Sometimes a repaired bowl, a box of sweets, or one quiet daily purpose can tell you more about a culture than its tallest skyscraper ever could. Number 2. Japan's wildest festivals explained. For much of the year, Japan is associated with order, restraint, and carefully observed social rules. But when festival season arrives, Another Japan emerges, louder, more colorful, and sometimes so unusual that visitors can hardly believe what they are seeing. One remarkable example is the Hadaka Matsuri, or Naked Festival, a tradition associated with several events across Japan. The most famous takes place at Saidaiji Temple in Okayama. Despite the dramatic name, participants traditionally wear minimal ceremonial garments rather than being completely unclothed. Large crowds of men gather in a highly energetic ritual connected to purification and good fortune, turning an ancient religious tradition into an extraordinary public spectacle. Then, there is Kawasaki's Kanamara Matsuri, commonly known internationally for its unmistakable fertility-themed imagery. Held in connection with Kanayama Shrine, the festival has historical associations with prayers concerning fertility, family, and protection. Today, its distinctive symbolic decorations and festive atmosphere attract international attention, while charitable and community elements have also become part of its modern identity. But these famous celebrations represent only a fraction of Japan's festival culture. Across the country, local matsuri bring communities together with enormous floats, portable shrines known as mikoshi, traditional dances, taiko drums, fireworks, street food, and summer yukata. The contrast is fascinating. The same society known for quiet commuter trains can suddenly fill entire streets with chanting crowds and pounding drums. Number 1. Japan's most shocking price paradox. Japan has a reputation for being expensive, but the reality in 2026 is far stranger. In the same city, you can find an affordable bowl of noodles, and then walk into a luxury fruit store where a perfectly shaped melon costs more than an entire dinner. Fruit occupies an unusual place in Japanese gift culture. Premium strawberries, grapes, peaches, and melons can be cultivated for exceptional appearance, sweetness, and consistency, then presented in elaborate packaging. Some rare varieties and specially selected produce command extraordinary prices, while headline-making auction sales can reach extreme figures that do not represent what ordinary shoppers normally pay. For most people in Japan, everyday supermarket fruit is far less dramatic. The paradox continues with dining. Travelers can still find relatively affordable meals at convenience stores, family restaurants, ramen shops, and chains specializing in dishes such as gyudon. At the other extreme, Japan is home to internationally celebrated sushi counters, kaiseki restaurants, and luxury dining experiences where a single meal can cost hundreds of dollars. Travel costs can be equally unpredictable. Hotel prices in Tokyo and Kyoto can surge during cherry blossom season, holidays, and other peak periods, while regional cities may offer considerably better value. Exchange rate movements also change how expensive Japan feels to international visitors from year to year. Japan is a land of contradictions, ancient yet futuristic, quiet yet intense, deeply traditional yet constantly changing. And even after everything we've explored today, countless stories are still waiting to be discovered. If you enjoyed this journey, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and share this video with someone who loves exploring the world. Until our next adventure, thanks for watching.